Hey everybody, welcome back to Rainbows Are Circles. This is Julie Malari. I hope that you enjoy this episode. We're going to be talking about imposter syndrome today, which is something that I guess I knew I struggled with a little bit, but I didn't realize how much it was affecting me or how it was showing up in my life. And yesterday I took this free imposter syndrome workshop I think it was through Kajabi, which is an online course creator company. And the guy's name was Ben something. I'll actually look him up and post him in the show notes so that if you want to take his workshop, you can too, if you struggle with imposter syndrome. But basically what imposter syndrome is in a nutshell, it's not believing in yourself. When you want to do something or you have a project or you want to create something and you just don't really think that you have the skills, you don't really believe that you're capable, you basically feel like a fraud and that you shouldn't be teaching what you're teaching or creating what you're creating or doing what you're doing. Okay. So, even if you've been like studying something for 15 years, you still might feel like a fake or a fraud. So that's imposter syndrome. Like you obviously have a lot of talent and knowledge and are capable of doing what you're doing, but yet there's still a part of you that believes you don't. So if that sounds familiar, you should definitely take this guy's workshop. The way that it kind of blew my mind because the way that it showed up for me when we were doing some exercises during the workshop, and I didn't really think I was going to get a ton out of the workshop. I was like, okay, let's just try this. It's free. Let's see what comes up. I do that a lot. Like I'll feel drawn to something. I'm not really sure what's going to come out of it, but I'll just give it a whirl and see what happens. And so that's what I did with this workshop. And I'm so glad that I did because I had this realization that I totally had imposter syndrome. And one of the ways it was showing up, I was completely blind to. And now that I'm aware of it, I'm like, oh, nope, not letting you in, not letting you control my life. Sorry. So basically, the way that imposter syndrome was showing up for me, like with this podcast, for example, like I have this podcast and I talk about like personal development and like different tools for like healing and mindset shifts and manifesting. And there is definitely a part of me that feels like, oh, I don't have enough knowledge. I don't have enough proof in my life that this works. I shouldn't be teaching this, blah, blah, blah. But I've done a lot of work to release a lot of those limiting beliefs. So I'm able to now do things with more ease and confidence than I was before. However, there was still this little symptom that was showing up for me. And one of the ways that we know that we have imposter syndrome is when somebody pays us a compliment, right? Or says, hey, I love your podcast. It's really helped me to think differently about this and that. Or, hey, I really enjoyed this episode. It was really helpful for me. It really resonated with me, blah, blah, blah. When somebody pays us a compliment like that, that should technically reaffirm that we are doing a good job, that we are good at what we do, that we are capable and successful. Instead of letting that happen, we flip it around and we say something to ourselves like, oh, they're just being nice. Oh, they probably feel sorry for me because they know that not many people listen to my podcast and they're just trying to be encouraging. And like, literally that is what I do. Like whenever, even when I was teaching yoga, people would come up to me and be like, oh, I really loved your class. I feel so much better, blah, blah, blah. But because I didn't really believe in myself and because I thought that more people should be saying that in order for me to believe it, whenever even one or two or three people would say something like that to me, I would shake it off and not believe it. And I would just say, oh, they're just being kind. Isn't that sad? Like looking back, I'm like, oh, that's so sad. Like I'm like, oh, I feel for you, like younger Julie that was feeling that way. And like, I literally did this like last week. I created like a podcast episode and I hadn't created anything in a while. And one of my really old friends reached out to me and he was like, hey, that really resonated with me. I really, appreciated what you said, blah, blah, blah. I could really relate to that. And the immediate thought in my head was, oh, he probably knows that he's the only one that's listening and like, he's just trying to be supportive. Instead of being like, oh, amazing. I'm so glad that it helped you. I'm really happy about that. And I feel really good about myself, you know? And so, I just wanted to share this with you and I wanted to create an episode about it because do you do that to yourself? Because I think a lot of people do this and they don't actually realize that they're doing it or that it's a symptom of imposter syndrome. And, it's just a way that we like don't give ourselves credit and we don't support ourselves and we don't support ourselves. And at the end of the day, like it's great to have external validation. It's great for people to hear people like come up to you and say, hey, this was great. You did a good job. Da, da, da. But at the end of the day, what is the most important thing is that you believe in yourself. You feel good about the work that you're doing and the things that you're creating. And that is the most important thing because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much external validation you get, how many views you get, how many listens you get. If you don't feel good about yourself and the work that you're doing, it's going to feel empty. On the other hand, if you know that you are doing work that you're proud of, that you put your heart into, that you truly believe in, that feels really aligned, it doesn't matter what else happens. It doesn't matter what anybody says. It's great if people resonate with it. It's great if people reach out and tell you that it really helped them. But you just have to believe in yourself and trust in yourself that even if you don't see the result right away, even if you don't see that you're reaching people or that you don't have any sort of external validation, just keep trusting and keep doing your good work because it will pay off in the end and you will know and feel that you are having a positive impact on the world. Okay. So I just wanted to share that today because I know that I'm not the only one that struggles with this. And I hope that hearing this helps you to like move out of your imposter syndrome if you're feeling any of that as well. And helps you to believe in yourself and like do the kind of work that you want to do and just keep moving forward, even when you're not seeing that you're getting any sort of results. Just keep trusting, keep doing whatever it is that you feel is right. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. Okay. So I hope that this was helpful. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to link the workshop or the teacher down below for the imposter syndrome workshop if you're interested in that. And let's see. I guess that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in and I'll see you next time.